Hey everyone, in today's video I want to talk about something that I get asked a lot, is what to practice in a short period of time. I have so many coaching students that have 9-to-5 jobs or that are really busy or have families or they just can't play all the time, and sometimes they have very limited amount of time to actually practice and get their hands in the horn, right? As little as 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So today I thought I'd share a few tips on what I would practice if I only had 15 minutes with my horn. Now, keep in mind that I do talk a lot about all the things that you can do to boost your musicality without your horn. So there are many practices, and this is something I emphasize a lot on my Improv Mastery Circle private community and on my coaching students. I really focus about you don't need your horn all the time to get musical practice. And I say this because there's a lot of misconception of students believing that they can only progress when they have their saxophone or their instrument around, and that's not true at all. I always say about 60% of my improvement as a musician has come without my horn, by doing all of these amazing things like expanding my rhythmic language. You don't need your horn for that. You can be singing rhythms, transcribing rhythms, and writing my own phrases, taking the time to sit down and write phrases, write little etudes, little exercises that then when I play my horn, it's like a lot of things are already showing up, and it makes my playing more effective, more precise, and a lot more fun. I don't like to grab my horn and figure things out. I do that once in a while, of course, but I like to figure things out without my horn and then bring those to my practice, if that makes sense. So, but I won't talk about those things because I will save those for another video where I'll talk specifically about things you can do without your horn. But today, I want to talk about how to maximize 15 minutes. Let's say you have 15 to 20 minutes of practice time. What can you do? So one of the biggest mistakes I see in students is they want to overcomplicate their practice routines, and they want to practice too many things at the same time, right? I want to do long tones, I want to do etudes, I want to do this exercise, and then the patterns. And a lot of times it's very inefficient, right? And you've probably felt this way. You've been practicing maybe for years and you just don't see how what you practice translates to your playing and to your soloing. And I'll talk about that as well. And you can see on my videos, I really emphasize about efficiency when you practice and just narrowing the focus and expanding the depth instead of doing too many things at the same time. Just focus on 2-3 things maximum for as long as a week or two. Get really good at something small and boost your musicality with it. So what I would do in 15 to 20 minutes is really work on musicality. I would not work on anything new, nothing new, okay? So I would not try to play a new etude or a new nothing. In fact, what I'll do, and I love this kind of things, is I will do an improvised session. That means I'm not gonna read anything, I'm not gonna have any book around, nothing. It's just gonna be me and my saxophone, okay? And for the first few minutes, I'm gonna work on my tone and on my sound. I'll pick for this, I'm gonna choose a ballad or maybe 2 ballads. You can totally pick a ballad you already know. So again, don't do anything new for this 15 to 20 minutes. Just grab stuff that you know. So the first thing is work on tone. And because the amount of time is very limited, you don't have to do a lot of, in my other video about mastering your airflow, I teach you how to practice the long tones effectively and how I do it with my whole concept of air, sound, air. So maybe I would start a little bit on that, but because time is very limited, I won't stay too long at it. I will try to go ahead and use the melody of whatever ballad that I'm doing as a long tone exercise, okay? I'm gonna play very soft, and for the first 5 minutes of those 15 minutes, I'm gonna use no tongue at all, or even more, longer. I'm all about releasing the tongue to let your sound and your airflow dictate your sound, adding warmth to your playing, okay? So make sure to watch that video. By the way, I left it in the description, Mastering Your Airflow. I really go in depth about, the things you can actually do to drastically improve your sound and become more expressive in your horn. But to get started, I would just go ahead and do 5 minutes of a ballad. Maybe I'll pick something like, My One and Only Love. And you can pick ballads that go around specific ranges. I like My One and Only Love for that higher tenor range, with tenor today, so I'm gonna pick that. And then you can do even a jazz ballad and then a pop ballad, or you could even just do like a bolero, or just pick 2 little different slow tunes, right? And what I'll do is first I'm gonna just grab a few tones, a few long tones. I'm gonna do my air, sound, air concept. And by the way, to really know what I'm talking about here, make sure to watch that video about mastering your airflow. But it's basically releasing the tongue completely. I'm gonna let my air very softly, and from the air, I'm going to get that just very, very low volume of the note. And once the note shows up, I'm going to keep it in that same volume, and I'm going to make sure that it doesn't shake, that it doesn't pop, and that it just stays very, very even, right? Just start with the middle range. You saw that air, a little bit of a sound, back to the air. Now what happened is that I love this kind of exercise because as soon as you do it, you start feeling the tension, right? Because it's so soft that you start feeling you need a lot of support. For example, I always tend to bite, so I was feeling it, right? So that makes me instantly conscious about breathing better. So nobody has to tell you that just by doing this exercise. So I would sit properly or stand up. You know, if you have 15 minutes, I would recommend just practice standing up for the whole 15 minutes. I'm just sitting down right now, but just it is the better airflow, right? So you do that and then you play a few notes with that same volume and you start your sound with no tongue, just by air, and then getting just very soft sound. You're trying to, like when you dim a light, you're trying to find a 0.1, 0.2, instead of like boom, just starting to play really loud. And I talk about that on my other video where I say many sax players, we learned how to play from mezzo forte above. And it's like we never really learned how to play soft and actually work on our sound with a microscope to really, really enhance your warmth and your quality and expression with the airflow. So, and also your control, dynamic control. So I would keep that volume, play a few notes like that. That was already more tiring than playing loud. So I would just do like maybe a minute or two of just like one long tone, then maybe a little passage like that, just to get warmed up, get started. Then I would jump into the melody of whatever tune I want. So ballad, right? Jazz ballad, my one and only love. And I'll work on it very soft with extreme air support. And I'm gonna make that expression from my air. So watch that other video where I show you how to be expressive with just the airflow. I'm not gonna use any tongue. I'm just gonna really take the initial stage of my practice. And by the way, this goes the same way if you have an hour to practice, then just take 15 minutes with no tongue. But right now it's just like 5 or 6 minutes or something, right? Just like that, a few long tones and then directly to the melody. I'm gonna use the melody, right? A melody that I know really well, like my one and only love. And I'll just play really soft and I'll work on quality. I'll really, really listen to your sound, to what the warmth. I really work on my air, right? Etc. I will just keep going for the whole melody. Now, I played it as soft as I could. Maybe just you saw like a little crescendo here and there, but I really played it soft. What's happening when you play that soft? It's forcing me to really breathe properly, and it's hard because you're getting all this resistance back, so you need to maintain the quality, maintain the roundness and the warmth of the, even on the tenor is really hard, on all saxes is hard. So it forces you to really like not lose the sound, relax your embouchure. Basically, I'm treating that melody as a long tone. I'm always working on sound. In fact, you should always work on sound, and every time you play, you should be really thinking on how you're sounding, right? So to me, ballad is perfect. Then pick whatever other ballad that you want and just do the same. Just one or two ballads. I'm gonna pick like maybe I'll do like Young at Heart. You saw I did use the tongue there a little bit because of the repeated notes, but I limit the amount of tongue in there. Very limiting. I'm trying not to just let the air dictate that. And what happens is we over-articulate a lot of saxophone players. Okay, so we just use the tongue, it cuts away a lot of our sound and it messes up our articulation or evenness, everything. So by releasing it, just for a practice, then you can reintroduce it with a better consciousness, right? But you just really work on the air dictating everything you play, right? And then you can grab the same two melodies, or which you can just work on one of those. And now I will do the same. I will maybe now add a little bit more of the tongue if I feel like it, but now I will add a lot more of expression by using the airflow. I will now really play and move the dynamics up and down and add this expression and shapes, right? And you see I'm playing it a cappella. Now you saw more dynamics. I'm adding more notes, improvising around a little bit. All a cappella, just really listening to my sound. I'm being very analytical right now, right? So really listen. Are you sounding good? Do you sound good? Do you think you sound good? Play and pause. What happened there? Why did I sound bad? Was I out of tune? Was I sharp? Really be analytical. Play it again. It's like, do you want to sound rounder? How about, okay, let me breathe better, get a better support, and maybe, you know, there's a yawning technique as well where you can think, like when you yawn and you expand your throat, you can do the same. And really, if you make it mental and you really think that you're going to produce the rounder sound, then you will naturally do it better. It's very mental, the whole thing. But a lot of people just blow and they don't think about how they want to sound. Really think of it, right? Well, let's grab the other melody, right? More in the middle range, Young at Heart. I'm really thinking on a round, silky sound. In the case of this melody, if you're playing anything else, you know, you adjust to whatever you play. But really think of your sound. Spend, you know, 6, 7, 8 minutes just doing that, playing the ballad. This is what I personally would do. And I would do it. Doesn't have to be a ballad all the time. Just really take the time to concentrate on your sound with nothing else, no overwhelm. You don't need to read any ebooks or nothing. Okay, then that's the first part of the practice session. And then let's say you have 20 minutes, right? 15 might be too little, but let's say 20 minutes. So I did that for like 7 minutes, 8 minutes, just working on sound and maybe one melody. And then I would jump straight ahead to what I teach on a free training that I have, which is grabbing one simple resource. I will just focus on one resource. It could be a scale, it could be 2 chords, like in the matrix of inversions that I show you in other videos as well. For now, I'll just do it on a scale to make it simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it. So let's pick like G melodic minor, okay? You can pick a major, a pentatonic, whatever, like just one specific sound. For me right now, it's like it'll be like the G melodic minor scale. And what I'm going to do is, the first thing is I'll just play the scale up and down, and I'll play a few patterns just to make sure like make sure to pick a resource that you know very well. Remember, we're not trying to do anything new in this practice session. So grab the same scale that you know, C major if that's what you know, F major, whatever it is. I love the sound of melodic minor, just very melodical. So I'm going to use it now. And what I'm going to do first, just make sure to play the scale or the resource. I'll play a few patterns. To go too crazy with patterns, but just to like make sure that you can like go around it, I'm using no tongue, by the way, no tongue. You can use a metronome, or you know what, for 15 or 20 minutes you don't even need a metronome, just a cappella. Right? Just make sure that you can play that resource well, and then what I'll do is, here's the fun part, is I'm going to just grab shapes. I'm going to think on shapes. I'm going to improvise using that. No rhythm yet. No, rhythm's the main and most important thing, but I'm going to put it aside for a second. I'm just going to play shapes. What I mean with shapes, I'm going to grab the scale and just move around. I'll try to jump, not to repeat. I'm going to try to break away from the patterns, right? So maybe I'll do, I'll just move up, then say close, move down. You know what I mean? I'll just really move around and create very nice shapes using that scale in an improvised manner. Again, this is a great exercise you can do without tongue. Just let your fingers and make sure that both your sound and your fingers are really even. I'm going to start with eighth notes on. You can predetermine a tempo. Da, da, do, da, da. Those are going to be my eighth notes, right? Getting good at it, you're getting some shapes and it's sounding interesting. You're exploring the sounds of that scale, of that resource, and at the same time you're working on sound and evenness. Now I might add, I feel like just maybe from eighth notes I might go like 16th notes or triplets. Now, keep in mind, I'm trying to not play patterns, all right? You can do that, but I'm trying to make it a more improvised statement and try to grab the melodies. I always think of this as more of a collection of notes rather than a scale. So when you think of a scale, you're always getting that up and down vibe. And just think of this group of notes and how you can place them in the horn in all different ways, right? And I'm playing with my airflow, with the expression. What ends up happening is you're really boosting your musicality, your creativity. You're working on shapes and making it an improvised, just shapes. Now, once you're good with that for 5 minutes, the remaining 5 minutes, now you're going to think of specific, short, 2-measure rhythms, and you're going to sing it many times and play it. Consider those shapes you've worked on, right? So again, my hierarchy and melody, and to boost your musicality and your technique, but mainly your musicality, and to build phrases that sound good and musical on the spot, it's rhythms, shapes, and the notes are just at the end. They're a consequence of the other two. So you need a good rhythmic vocabulary, and then you need to think on shapes that will dictate what you play, and then the notes will just come naturally, right? So right now we just worked on shapes before rhythm, just to make sure that you can play around the scale and work on technique and on sound. Now we're going to use the tonguing, and we're going to grab simple rhythms. I'm going to sing the rhythm through. You might need to sing it more times. For the sake of this video, I'll just sing it like once or twice, and then I'll play around with that rhythm. I'll infuse that rhythm to the scale. All right. Ba 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 da. Oh, by the way, think of a style of a rhythm. I'm thinking on a medium swing right now to keep it simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ba 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 da. Ba 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 da. Good, cool. Now, if you feel like you're messing up the rhythm, sing it again and do it again. Now, for this next 5 minutes, you need to focus 100% on not only the rhythm itself, but rhythmic accuracy. Ba 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 da, right? Don't just do ba 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 da. No, ba 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 da. Placement. Right? If you pick another one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ba da ba 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 do ba ba da ba 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 do ba. So you grab that rhythm and just let the phrases come out by themselves. This is why working on the shapes before really works, because now you're trained on like moving, don't just grab the scale up and down, try to really break it and make as many little melodies as you can using that rhythm. Okay? Now you can do this 5 minutes with just 1 or 2 rhythms, but if you get good at it, like I can do just as many rhythms as I can, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ba da ba da boo ba 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 da ba ba da ba da ba 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 da ba. More complex, more notes. Ba da ba da ba boo ba ba boo da ba ba da ba da ba boo ba ba boo da ba. Right? And you can like mess around with like really, dropping the octave, like work on your technique. By now you should be kind of warmed up and filled more with ideas. Now I really try to do this all a cappella, grooving with myself. You can do the metronome when you have a longer session, when you practice for an hour. It's also really good to just groove with yourself and understand. You can tap your foot, sing it, just really understand how that groove, like make sure that when you play this way for the remainder 5 or 10 minutes, even if you have half an hour, this is perfect, right? Because you can do like this for just 10 minutes. But again, if you want to structure it this way, you can just start with the long tones and the ballads for 5 or 6 minutes, then move on to just grabbing a resource and shapes for like 4 minutes or something like that. Just really grabbing and experimenting with shapes, focusing on your sound, on your airflow, on your expression, and experimenting at the same time. Because here's the thing, we're practicing sound, we're practicing expression, air support, finger evenness, sound evenness, all of it at the same time. And then we're also practicing musicality and getting more musical with the simple resource that you already know. This is why I love these little sessions, because you don't need to do anything new. You just grab what you know and make it more musical. See, right now I'm playing stuff with the G minor melodic scale that I've never played before. And I know that scale really well, but I love this exercise. It just keeps bringing out new phrases and new ways of playing the same stuff. So I'm a fan of this because I can always practice to be more musical with the same things, right? So you can do this now for the last 10 minutes. Just really focus on singing a rhythm, singing it, play it, then stop, sing it again. Pay attention to how accurate you play it, okay? Because I see in a lot of students that they play the rhythm, but they play it inaccurate. That means that they rush it a little bit, or they stay kind of lost. Make sure you can sing it. Ba ba da ba ba do ba 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 da ba ba do ba. Right? And then just keep doing that with different rhythms. When you get good with one, start with simpler rhythms. Da ba 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 boo da. Then you can start getting more complicated, like the one I was singing. Ba da ba da ba 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 boo da ba da ba da ba da ba 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 boo da ba da. Right? And all of this stuff off, goes up. Now I'm just really working on that rhythm, and I'm thinking on shapes. And I'm letting my fingers move with the scale. That you need to know the scale or whatever, chords or resource really well to do this properly, right? My next favorite thing is to do it with chords. And you can watch my other video about 2 chords, great results. I love that, and I teach you how to do that with chords. But for the sake of 15 to 20 minutes that you only have to practice, then just keep it simple, grab a scale, make it musical. And how many people, as a guy, I always ask this to my students, you know a C major scale, you've played it hundreds or thousands of times, but can you actually play and improvise, you by yourself, a cappella, and sound musical? Can you play for like 3-4 minutes just using the C major scale and make someone just be like, hey man, that's cool, what are you playing? Cool phrases, like sounds simple, but hey, that's really great, it's really musical. And a lot of people can't. It's like improvise with a scale and instantly fall back to patterns or make it scaly. This is a good way to break from that. So it's a great way to practice both technique, sound, articulation, all of the technical stuff. And at the same time, musicality, all improvised. I'm not reading from anything. I'm not doing anything from any book. I'm just working on a few tunes, a few ballads, just to get my sound going, my expression, and then instantly go to pick one resource. In fact, if you have little time, you can skip the ballad and just grab the resource practice. Right? Just maybe play a few long tones, grab a resource, or you can just go straight into the shapes and play soft and use that shape exercise, right, as a long tone exercise. You can go straight to that and then to the rhythm. So you can skip the first part if you really are short in time. But I do like to grab the ballad. It just sets me up really nicely to play. And also, you always want to practice tunes, and a lot of people really don't play ballads enough and they don't know them enough, so it's a great way to just get started. But you can totally just do the shapes and then the rhythms, okay? And by the way, I have a free training where I show you exactly my step-by-step process on how to do this and how to actually extract rhythms, okay, from your favorite solos and players. So it's like if you don't have any rhythms with you or you're out of ideas, then make sure to go to the link below. I left a link in the description with my free trainings. Just 10 minutes, really fast. You're going to watch it and it's going to transform the way you practice, because you can apply that right away and you're going to sound more musical. You'll be amazed at how more musical you can sound even with just a pentatonic scale, a C major scale, or just one chord inversion, a few chords. Just make sure to go ahead and watch it in the link below, all right? To finish up, that's pretty much it. So you're going to sing rhythms, play them, sing rhythms, play them, and bounce around your singing. And this is going to make you a more accurate player, because you're going to really work on da ba ba da do ba do ba. That's the how, the rhythm. I'm singing it ba 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 do ba do ba 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 da ba do ba 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 da ba do ba. That singing and accuracy makes me play it better, because this is a translation of what you can sing, right? If you can't sing a rhythm properly and accurately, you will never be able to play it. I don't think that's possible. You need to sing it. Do ba 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 da ba do ba. Right? Singing it up. Ba da ba da ba 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 da ba da ba da ba da ba 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 da ba da. Right? And the rhythm extracts all these different ideas. Now, I'm using medium swing here, but I recommend you stick with whatever tempo you decide for that little session, practice session. And then the next day, if you have another 15 minutes, do something completely different. You can stick with the same resource, grab that same scale, and now you can do ba 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 da ba da boo ba do. You can do super slower swing, or you can do like more of like a, I don't know, how we go to like a bossa nova, right? That more straight, even eighth note. Da 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 ba 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 da ba ba da boo ba ba. You can just really experiment, grab a style. You can even grab a tune that you want to hear as inspiration, listen to a rhythm you like, and grab that and use it. Then when you get good with one rhythm, go to the next one. But always go back and forth, singing, playing, singing, 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 playing, 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 singing, 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 playing, 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 singing. And whenever you just focus in this part, last part of your practice, for this little short 20-minute or 15-minute practice, focus on your rhythmic accuracy, right? At the beginning of the practice, we're focusing exclusively on sound, air support, and evenness and warmth and just sound. And then when we go to the shapes, we're still focusing on sound and finger evenness, and now we're also focusing on playing musical shapes, up and down, moving in different ways, close, big jump, or things like that, right? We're really working on shapes and coloring and drawing shapes. And then this last part, we're focusing on rhythmic accuracy. It's going to even make you tongue better. A lot of people ask me about the tonguing. You can't tongue properly if you can't sing the rhythm. Da, da, do, da, da, ba, do, da. I really tongue it the same way. It's really what it is. I mean, it's going to make, when you can sing the rhythm better, it's just going to make you play more accurate and not be like, it's going to take away that noodling that a lot of players have. It's like, oh, I'm going to play with a scale. Right? This inaccuracy, it's all uneven. When you start singing rhythms like this, it's going to make everything you play more like a statement, right? And then, of course, ultimately, what I would do right now, and what you can do once you get good at this, is simply have, for the last few minutes, just improvise freely and let the rhythms come to you, right? So when you start expanding your rhythmic language so much, the beautiful thing is you internalize those rhythms. And then they just come right away, and like you saw, how the notes are, I don't even care about the notes. They just come by itself by absorbing the rhythm, thinking on shapes, and the notes come at the end, right? So one of my favorite practices that you can do without your horn that I talk a lot about is singing rhythms. Can you actually put a metronome or put a track or just tap and improvise rhythmically, right? There's a medium swing. Ba 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 da ba ba do ba. Ba 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 da ba 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 da boop. Ba 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 da ba da ba ba da ba. Ba ba bo ba ba da ba ba do ba ba do ba ba da do ba 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 do ba da do ba 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 da do ba da do ba. Right? That rhythmic fluency is what needs to happen in your horn. If you can't do that in singing, then I encourage you to practice like this without your horn. Just listen to your favorite swing or funk, whatever it is, track, and then like jam with it. Improvise rhythms, sing rhythms, and don't get lost on it. Boom, lock in. Do bop, do do ba ba do bop. That's really what's going to give you that fluency and that musicality. So if I grab now the scale and I do that, now I'm going to just improvise freely using rhythms. Right, so that's it. That's enough for your 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I know I took a little longer in a few things, but you can do this fast. Start right away with your long tones, your ballads, or skip it if you're short on time. Then remember, no tongue, really work on sound, play really soft. Make sure to watch my video about mastering your airflow, how to sound more expressive on your horn or the saxophone. Watch it right here. I'm going to leave it at the end, and I left the link below as well, because there I really go through really detail on how to work on the sound and the evenness, on really expressiveness of the horn. But take a few minutes to grab a few ballads, make them expressive, and just going to make you more conscious about airflow sound. Practice standing up if you can. It's just going to be way better for your airflow. Use the concept of air, sound, air, play really soft. Then you can start elevating the volume a little bit and using just your airflow with no tongue to do curves. Play a little louder, a little softer, and really make your sound expressive. Then go to shapes. Just grab one resource that you already know very well, any scale, C major, F major, could be C major 7, F major 7, and you do chord inversions like on my 2-chord big results video, right? I'm going to leave it there as well so you can watch it. And then just improvise shapes. No tongue, just play, and really try to avoid patterns and avoid that scaly or chordy sound. Try to really play different shapes, break the octave, do all of these things. Then, at the end, you're going to infuse your playing with rhythms, and now you're going to sing rhythms, tap tap do do ba, tap tap do ba do ba, and you're going to play that resource, right? So now to finish this video, I'm just going to I'll prepare to play along here, just medium swing, G melodic minor, so for the tenor, so it's going to be F melodic minor concert, and I'm just going to play over that using that. So that's another thing you can do if you have a play along already for this of just one chord loop, then you can put that and use it, right? I'm just going to use whatever, like a G minor or a G minor with a major seventh, right? Just to kind of match that sort of melodic minor sound, okay? And that's it, medium swing, and I'll play over it. I'll record it using exactly these concepts, and that's how you should sound with one resource. Before you start learning, 30 chords, and instead of like learning new patterns all the time, which I get students like obsessing on learning more patterns, then do this. Grab the same things that make them more musical. You can always make them more musical. I just did right now. I've played some stuff with that scale that I've never had before. That's what I love about this process. Now I'm going to record now, and I don't even know what's going to come out. I'm just about to record right now. So I'll do that, and make sure to please go check out my free training. I left a link down below. And at the end of the training, if you really enjoy that, if you've been enjoying my videos, I do have a very special invitation saved for you guys, for my YouTube viewers, to work one-on-one with me. If you've been struggling on improvisation, on saxophone, you've been playing for a while, but you don't see the progress in your playing, then once you see that training at the end, you'll get a special invitation to work one-on-one with me on a very high-level coaching program where I'll guide you personally. We'll grab your goals, build strategies, and I'll show you my step-by-step process, and you'll get constant feedback every step of the way. So if it's something that you're interested, go ahead, make sure to watch the training. And if not, at least go watch the training, because it's going to be really valuable. But if you do see the invitation at the end, that means that I have a few slots available. So you can go ahead and do that. And I also left a little link for my Improv Mastery Circle if you want to start with that. That's my private exclusive community of improvisers and saxophone players where I share my step-by-step system. So it's also something that you can check out if you want kind of to do it at your own pace, but also get community support and feedback. There's that option as well. But go ahead and watch the training, and let's check out my little solo. So if you like this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can get notified. I post a tutorial like this every single Tuesday. I hope to see you at the training, and stay tuned for my next video. Take care.